Hey guys, this is Ryan with Mama on Mission, and today I am joining in a collaboration hosted by Ingrid over at the Ingrid Chronicles, and this is the 10 Common Homeschool Questions collaboration. So make sure you check out the description box down below to find Ingrid's channel and also to find the playlist to see how some other homeschool moms answered these questions. Question number 1 is, do homeschoolers get sick days? And this is kind of a running joke because by and large in our house, no. And that is only because when you're in public school or private school where you're around a bunch of other kids, you have to be concerned about contaminating others. So you have to worry about being contagious. And a lot of sicknesses you can be contagious, at least with my kids, and they don't feel that bad. So if we're already going to be in the same house anyway, it's not like I can send my other kids away if one of them is sick. We might as well do school as long as they feel okay. Now, obviously, if they're running a high fever and just feel terrible, or if they're vomiting or whatever, I'm not going to make them sit and do school. But even if they're contagious, as long as they seem to be feeling well, we're just going to go ahead and get school done. And that way we can have a day off later in the year when they feel good and we can go do fun things. So by and large, yes, we homeschool when we're sick, but obviously not if someone is feeling terrible. Number 2, how do you explain to others that you homeschool? I don't. If someone asks, where we go to school or where my kids go to school, I'll tell them we homeschool. If someone asks, like, what do I do for a living, then I'll tell them. But typically it's not something that I bring up often unless I am asked. And then when I do bring it up, I don't explain it unless they ask me to, unless they have questions. I happily answer any questions about homeschooling that I get. But it's not like something that I feel like I have to explain, because if they want to know more, they can always ask. Number 3, how does a homeschooling mom have free time? If you're not careful, you don't. It's really easy. I think for me, the hardest part of homeschooling is just being on 24/7. Every mom is a mom sunrise to sunset and while you're sleeping. But I just feel like we're all together for all 3 meals every day. There's just a lot that goes into that. And if you're not careful, you don't have any free time. When my kids were younger and all took rest times or naps at the same time, I would get my free time in then. I would be able to sit down and read or crochet or whatever. And now I have to schedule that. So if you're not a mom that is in that stage where you can make your kids all go lay down for a while, the reason why we can't do that right now is because we do school when my youngest is napping, because he's 2 and need I say more. So right now we just can't do school I can't get my free time while he's napping. So we just, I have to schedule that in. About once a week, I schedule something in the evening for me to go do. And some nights that's going out with a friend for coffee. Some nights that is getting together with some other homeschool moms or ladies from church or whatever. And sometimes that is just me shutting myself in my room for a couple hours and reading a book or crocheting or doing whatever I feel like doing in the peace and quiet. But typically one time a week, I try to make sure I get an hour or 2 at least where I just do what I want to do. And oftentimes that is stuff for my kids too. I'll crochet something for them or I'll lesson plan or whatever, but it's like the quiet time. It's mom's not answering any questions time. So number 4, do homeschoolers get homework? By and large in our house, no. Unless I have a son who likes to, if he's not really in the mood for school, he'll just kind of dilly-dally around and not get it done. And if that's the case, then he'll be doing it in the evening when everyone else is having free time. So typically no. But it's their choice. If they choose not to get their school done during school time, then yes, they will have homework. Now I can imagine in junior high and high school this will probably change as we get to writing essays and doing lots of reading for different things, they'll probably have that kind of stuff left over. And I plan to let them kind of self-pace their work, like make them independently get done what they need to get done. So if that means they want to do it in the evening or whatever, that's fine. But right now, no, unless you're messing around, you don't get homework in this homeschool. Number 5, how does a homeschooler make friends if they're not in school? So this is the quintessential socialization question. And, well, I won't go into that, but we'll just say, as far as friends, my kids have tons of friends. They have friends from our homeschool co-op that they meet with every week, and then we meet with some of the friends outside of co-op. We have play dates pretty regularly with some family friends, and we have a church that they are in class with kids twice a week. So Sunday mornings and Wednesday evenings they're with their friends. So it's not hard for them to make friends even though they're not in school. And let's not forget, like, I love seeing that my boys are each other's best friend. Not always, they fight, but all friends fight. So I don't know, it's just really sweet to see. I feel like they love each other a lot more than I loved my sisters until I got a lot older. So Number 6, do you need to be certified to homeschool your kids? And the answer is no. There's no state laws or anything like that, at least in our state. I don't think there is anywhere. I don't know. If you can learn, meaning you can read and reason, and you have a love for your children and a desire for them to learn and to love learning, then you're certified. Like, that's all the certification you need. I don't think, anytime I've talked to someone who is considering homeschooling, there's like, I just don't think, you know, I didn't make good grades, I'm not super smart. You don't have to be super smart. You just have to be able to learn and to find resources, because the textbooks and the online services, you know, they teach for you. They don't expect you to know everything before you teach it. So, I mean, you don't have to have any sort of certification. Just love your kids and be able to learn along with them. And number 7, how do you know if you're doing too much or not enough? I can speak definitely to the doing too much. If you notice that your kids are just completely burnt out and hating school and there's no joy in your homeschool day, chances are you're doing too much. Been there, done that, just last semester. Been there, done that. And as far as not doing enough, I've never felt this before. But I would say if you're not seeing growth in your children, if you're not seeing an excitement to learn, if you're not seeing, you know, if they're just talking about being bored all the time, I mean, kids are going to do that anyway. But by and large, if you're not seeing them grow and they're really bored, chances are you can up it a little bit. But I can't speak too much on that because I'm prone to doing way too much, which is just as bad. So, number 8, do you know what you're doing when it comes to teaching your kids? Yes and no. There's no magic book that tells you exactly what to do with each individual kid, and that's why we homeschool, is that there isn't a formula. So this gives us the opportunity to really tailor the education to our children. So no, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I don't think there's any possible way that you can, but I know my kids. And so knowing them and how they work and how they respond to things, I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing. So, and when it comes down to it, God knows what he's doing. So as long as I stay plugged into him, then I can't go wrong. Or if I do go wrong, he corrects me real fast. So there's that. Let's see, number 9, how do you know what to teach? First, you need to kind of look at your state standards. That would kind of be a starting point. If your state says that you need X amount of hours of this and this and this, then you got to do this and this and this. My state is pretty loose, so that doesn't give me much to go on. But beyond that, at least in the elementary ages, I know that they have to have a good grasp on reading, writing, and math. So that's what we focus on, and I know that that is going to build their core. I once heard it said that once you teach a child to read, you can't keep him from learning. Like, he's going to learn. If you just teach him to read and then give him books, he's going to learn. So that's what I know I have to teach. And other than that, how do you know what to teach? You go by, I mean, there's different things you can look at. I'm sure there's 100 things online that'll tell you, like, at this age they need to know this, at this age they need to know that, and that's a good loose standard. But I just wouldn't cling too tightly to that, because you're going to suck all the fun out of homeschooling. As long as you're teaching them the basics, then you can kind of, to an extent, let their interests lead you in what else you teach, because they're going to love learning if they're learning something that they love, if that makes sense. Not to say that they don't have to learn the things that they don't love, because they do, but that's just a good kind of starting point. And number 10, how many days a week do you homeschool? We do, I guess, 4.5 days. We do 3 full days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we do full homeschool days. Tuesdays, we do a tiny bit at home, and then we do half a day at co-op, 4 hours at co-op. And then on Thursdays, we do a lot of running around and stuff, but we still do a partial day there too. So we do 3 hardcore days, 1 day that's half home, half co-op, and then another day that is just a little bit of schooling, and then we take the rest of the day off. So I guess you would say 4.5, I don't know. And that is all of our questions. If you have any questions about homeschooling, please let me know. These seem to be my most popular videos, are the ones about homeschooling. And so if that is what you're interested in, and you've been considering it, or maybe you're just looking for some new ideas or some input, I would love to talk to you down in the comments. Or you can follow me over on Instagram, which is also Mama on Mission. I believe it's mama.on.mission. And I would love to connect with you over there too. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.